Hello, everyone. It's Julia from the Macedon Public Library here in Macedon, New York. We are gathered together with a larger crowd this time for another Readers Theater. This is our fourth one. Today we will be starting Much Ado About Nothing by request. And we've talked about some of the parts already that we've assigned them out to people. Others we're going to be figuring out as we go. But I'm going to be starting out with a list of the dramatic people, the dramatis personae. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So a list of the players, and then we will begin with Act 1. All right, so we have Don Pedro, who is the Prince of Aragon, Don John, his bastard brother, Claudio, a young lord of Florence, Benedict, a young lord of Padua, Leonato, governor of Messina, Antonio, his brother, Balthazar, servant to Don Pedro, Borachio, who is a follower of Don John, and Conrad, follower of Don John, Dogberry, a constable, Burgess, a headborough, Friar Francis, a sexton and a boy, and a messenger that's not mentioned here. Then of the female characters, we have Hero, who is the daughter to Leonato, and Beatrice, a niece to Leonato, Margaret, a waiting gentlewoman attending on Hero, Ursula, a waiting gentlewoman also attending on Hero. Oh, and then messengers, watch attendants, etc. And this is set in Messina, not Messina, New York. All right, I think we have most of the characters for the beginning, so we will just keep going. If Maureen, if you wanted, we still have Don John and Claudio, which I believe are near the end of it. If maybe you could jump in, or
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, awesome. All right, so Act 1, Scene 1, before Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Hero, Beatrice, and others with a messenger.
I learned in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
And how many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him. Even so much joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kindness, overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, Signor Montanto, returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua. Oh, he is returned and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed, I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath helped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencher man. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord. A man to a man. Stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so, indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They are never meet, but there is a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with one. so that if we have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for the difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth that he has left, to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but is the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he had caught the Benedict, it would cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will ne'er run mad, niece.
No, not till hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Enter Don Pedro, Don John, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, and others.
Good Signor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. And when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes his leave.
Oh, you embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no, for then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly, the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
My dear lady, disdain, are you not yet living?
Is it possible disdain should die while she hath such food to meet it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then courtesy is a turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood. I am of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or some other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse. It were a face such as yours.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
This is the sum of all. Leonato, Signor Claudio, and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato, hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month. And he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
Would you like to be
Maureen?
Don John?
Oh, I'll be Don John.
Okay.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato. We will go together.
I'll be Claudio. Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, if faith methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other but that she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid it is good hair finder, and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go into the song?
In mine eye she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fairy, exceeds her much in beauty, as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn to the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? In fate hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion. I shall never see a bachelor of threescore. Shall I never see a bachelor of threescore again? Go to in faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro has returned to seek you.
Re-enter Don Pedro.
What secret has held you here, that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio, I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my faith, my two faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she could be loved, nor how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with thickness, or with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, but not love. Prove that I ever lose more blood with love than I will yet get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me, And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try. In time, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is the good horse to hire. Let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If that should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid hath not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too then.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparations.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
And he exits. My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is dying to teach. Teach it. But how? And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She is his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant in their rooms, come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love, fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we will have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise and tell fair Hero that I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force of my strong encounter, of my amorous tale. Then, after, to her father I will break. And the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Exit.
Go wrong.
Yay!
Yay.
How we doing? So the end of Act 1, Scene 1. We are beginning Scene 2, which is set in a room in Leonato's house. And I think it's just Leonato and Antonio. Do we have an Antonio yet?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yes, enter Leonato and Antonio meeting.
Oh, wait, and then just because very shortly, we're going to have Don John, Conrad, and Baraccio. Shall we settle them?
Right, yes.
Read down John again.
Okay. Excellent, thank you.
I'll read Conrad when we get there.
Okay.
And I'll try Borachio.
Okay.
How now, brother? Where is my cousin, your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you dreamt not of.
And are they good?
As the event stamps them, but they have a good cover. They show well outward. The prince and Claudio, walking in a thick pleached alley in my orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him. Question him yourself.
No, we will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true. Go you and tell her of it.
Several persons cross the stage.
Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousins, have a care this busy time.
Exit. And we begin. Jump right into scene 3, another room in Leonato's house. Enter John, and Conrad.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, yet a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being, as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's pleasure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage, to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I will make use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here?
Enter Borachio.
What news, Borachio?
I come yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he?
A proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Marry, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, as I was smoking a musty room, comes me a prince and Claudio, hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the ass, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. With the cook war of my mind, shall we prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
And they leave.
This is Act 2, Scene 1, a hall in Leonato's house. Enter.
I apologize. I have someone at the door. So you're all doing well. Keep going.
Enter Leonato, Antonio, Hero, Beatrice, and others.
Was Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made, just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other is too like my lady's eldest son, ever more tattling.
Then half Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get the husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way, for it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no more.
Just, if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I'd rather lie in the woolen.
You may light upon a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take sixpence in earnest of the bear ward, and lead his apes to hell.
Well then, go you to hell?
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me, like the old cuckold with horns on his head, and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids." So I deliver up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, Faith, it is my cousin's duty to make courtesy and say, "Father, as it pleases you." But yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or let's make another courtesy and say, "Father, as it pleases me."
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be so overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin. If you be not wooed in good time, if the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero. For hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repenting, it is as a Scottish jig, a measure, and a song pace. The first suit is hot and hasty like a Scots jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry, and then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sonk pace faster and faster, till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
Nay,
The revelers are entering. Brother, make good room.
Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Don John, Borachio, and others of Don Pedro's party also masked.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
so you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me, in your company.
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof, within the house of Jove.
Why, then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low, if you speak love.
Okay, so we need Margaret. I am Balthasar.
Todd is Borachio.
No, I can't do it.
Borachio.
Maureen, how about you? Can you do Margaret?
I'll be Margaret.
Well, I would you did like me.
We may have to find. So would not I, for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one.
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Yeah, and the thing is, he has food.
Amen.
He just wants the wet food.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
Now we need an Ursula. Oh dear, we're running out
Susan,
of-
you're right there. You want to be Ursula?
Okay. I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
My cat is less polite.
At a word, I am not.
I have two cats. He doesn't
I know you by the waggling of your head.
But he thinks.
At a
he
word,
starts
I am not.
asking for it around 1 p.m.
You could never do him so ill well, unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
Like, so put upon like you're really not.
Okay, we're kind of off now.
Yeah, sorry,
Nice.
the difference in the. I'm using
All right.
Oxford. Sorry.
Okay. Come. Do you think I do not know by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mum, you are he. Go to, Mum, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end. Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
No, will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool, only his gift is in devising impossible slanders.
That's true.
None but libertines delight in him. And the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I'm sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
No, I tried.
When I know the gentleman, I will tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure not marked or not laughed, strike him into melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to ill, I will leave them the next turning.
The music-
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
Do we have a Claudio?
Oh, that was Julia.
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother is in love, in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
In Borachio go.
Amazing. Yeah, it was 59.
Thus
just now.
answer I in the name of
It's
Benedict,
summertime.
to hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. It is certain so, the prince woos for himself. Friendship
Sorry,
is
it made
constant
you
to
feel a
all
little,
other
it made
things,
you feel a little
even
sad
the
about
office and
being
affairs of love.
it was like
Therefore, all
outside,
hearts in
walking
love use
outside.
their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself.
That's-
Trust no agent, for beauty is a witch.
It's like, and doing bargains.
Melted
like,
into
the
blood.
online school, like, how
This
would
is
you
an
do that?
accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Benedict returns. Count Claudio,
Yea, the same.
come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of, about your neck, like an usurer's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him the joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drover. So they sell
I'll
bullocks.
make it a lot of red.
But did you think the prince would be served by you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Ho, now you strike like a blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be,
Oh, yeah.
I'll leave you. Yeah,
Alas, poor bird fowl, now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me, and
All the
not know
yeast
me.
is like gone from the steam
Fool.
carpets and
Ha, it may be that I go under that title because I am married, yea, but I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, the bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, so drives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may. Don Pedro returns with Leonardo and Hero. Leonardo and Hero talk apart.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Trost, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the good will of his young lady, and offered him my company to the willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, by my faith you say honestly.
The lady Beatrice hath a quarrel with you. The gentleman that danced with her told her that she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw. huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me.
What do you mean design?
She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules turn spit, yea, and have cleft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her, the infernal eight, in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certain, while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary. And people sin upon purpose, because they would go hither. So indeed all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follow her.
Re-enter Claudio, Beatrice, Hero, and Leonato.
But look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand. Now to the Antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great Cham's beard. Do you have any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy? You have no employment for me?
None, but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Exit.
He goes.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He led at me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Mary, once he won it of me with false dice, therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do to me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore art thou sad?
Was someone else reading Claudio while I was away?
Yes, but go ahead.
Okay. Not sad, my lord.
Happy birthday.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, no well, but civil count. Civil as an orange and something of that jealous complexion.
Faith, lady, I think you're blazoned to be true. Though all be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I broke with her father, and his goodwill is obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
See, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him not speak either.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool, it keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin calls him in his ear, the he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord, for alliance, thou goes every one to the world, but I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get one for you.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your graces ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I may have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence offends me most. And to be merry best becomes you, for out of question, you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that I was born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
And she leaves.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say, she hath often dreamt of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love hath all his rights.
Not till Monday, dear son, which is hence just 7 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake your head at so long a breathing? But I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in this interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of noble strain, of approved valor, and confirmed honesty. I shall teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedict that in spite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. The glory shall be ours. And we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
And the exit. Oh, I apologize again for my leaving. We are just at about an hour recording, which is, I think, what I don't know that people want to go more than an hour for watching us anyway.
I'm about done right now.
Yeah. So, I think, is it okay if we leave this here and we'll come back again next Tuesday at 4:30?
Yeah, sure.
We'll try to.
For anyone who
Zone's
wants to,
players.
and invite others.
I will do that. I have some friends in Rochester,
That
actually.
would be awesome. So it will be the same codes that you used to get in here. The password and the room code will be the same.
Okay.
All right, and yeah, that'll be great. So we'll start with an Act 2, Scene 2. All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you
Great.
much.
Thank you, everybody, for
Okay.
coming.
Thank you.
It's
Bye.
been
Thank you.
End the recording.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.